Hiya, in this video I'm going to be doing a few electrical jobs on the 323F. That includes sorting out this electric aerial, dashboard bulbs. Half of them are blown, so I can't really see what the speed is at night. Fog light wiring. I remember what else. So, but yeah, just a few electrical little bits and pieces. So yeah, nothing too interesting, I'm afraid, but all jobs that need to be done. So yeah, let's crack on. So I'm going to start off by removing this top binnacle. Do have a little bit of experience doing this, doing the horn wiring. So yeah, let's make a start. So there's a few plugs that you need to remove to actually get the main dash binnacle out, which is easy enough. So to get this cluster out, looks like there's 4 screws, 2 on the top and 1 on each side. Then there's 3 more plugs for the cluster, but I don't think to change the bulbs you won't need to go that far. So looking at this, there's 3 501 bulb holders. They look like they're the illumination ones, so I'll just go ahead and change those ones in situ. There they are. So now the bulb's been changed, I'm going to fit these little green condom covers back over, and that's what gives the illumination colour. So try and remember which way they went. It's going to be hard to see in this harsh sunlight, I think. Yeah, looks to be all working, so let's pop that all back together. So while I'm here, I'm going to remove the 2 screws that hold the heat controls in, because I know that 1.5 of these lights don't work as well. But if it seems too much of a job for the time being, I might leave it for now. But yeah, let's take off the screws and see what we've got. There's the unit. So it looks like there's 2 tiny screws holding that on, and these 2 clips. Something did come off. Hopefully that's not broken. So So inside you got bulb holders. Those I won't have any replacements for, so I'm gonna have to go get them. These look very similar to my Skyline heater climate control bulbs, to be fair. Sometimes these are soldered into the bulb holder, sometimes they're not. You can just replace them. I've got a funny feeling they're going to be soldered in. So I'll have to revisit this another time. So yeah, that's that kind of done. So taking the climate controls out was much easier than I thought. So that can be done at a later date once I've got some replacement bulbs. I'm going to leave this apart just for a second because this cigarette lighter doesn't work and I need to investigate. And I noticed that there's a couple of screws that hold this lower dash trim in place. So yeah, while we're here, might as well have a look at that. So I may go ahead of myself with the removal, purely because I was struggling to find how to remove it, so I just sort of got stuck in with it. So to take the center console out, there's two screws just below the heater controls next to the pocket. So then to remove the armrest, there's a bracket. Hold on, where is the armrest? Armrest here. Apologies about the harsh sunlight. So that's the driver's side. There's a screw each side. The seats have to go forward to get to those. And then if I move this around to where it should be, on the very front there's two screws down here which are just in front of those studs, and then the whole thing will lift out. So yeah, I noticed on the back of the cigarette lighter, so I knew that the illumination works, which would be this small plug here with the two red wires. That works, but the actual cigarette lighter itself doesn't. So I've also replaced this 501 bulb. Thought, why not while I'm there? So I now need to put it back together, re-plug it back in, and I'll unplug this blue power wire that goes to the socket, and I'll check with the multimeter to see if I'm getting 12 volts. Hopefully I am, and that just means that the actual cigarette lighter socket is duff, but we won't know until we do a little test. So the positive probe is in the blue wire. I'll just earth it on that bolt there. Nothing. So if I just switch the ignition on. Right, so we have power going to the plug. So switch that ignition off. So I've got a 12 volt tire inflator. Let's reconnect the live onto the socket. Let's plug that in there. Turn the key. off on nothing. So okay. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be the socket itself. Let's disconnect it from the loom and swap that over. So I've now swapped over the cigarette lighter. So this is the original. Originally I thought this green ring, illumination ring, has to come off. You can see where I tried to prise it from the bottom and it wasn't budging. Turns out from behind there's a ring, locking ring. Undo that and the whole centre falls out from the bottom. So that was nice and easy. So the universal cigarette lighter, the green illumination ring, which is ever so slightly too big for the hole in the dashboard. So I used a large step drill to open it up a little bit, and then I just adapted the original wiring. So on the original cigarette lighter, the earth is on the side. If it'll focus, earth is on the side, whereas on the new one there is a separate terminal. And then the original Mazda live spade fitted on a treat. So I just cut that off, cut the earth off the side of the original, crimped on a new terminal, job done. And annoyingly, the illumination bulb holder was too big to fit on the new cigarette lighter. So I've had to join it. Unfortunately, I didn't have the soldering iron to hand, so I've had to crimp it. But yeah, that way still got the original illumination for the little cubby ashtray, and then it should all plug in and work. So let's give it a try. Right, so the original loom's now plugged in. I've disconnected the bulbs just to make it a little bit easier. So I'll find my key. Right, so ignition on. Turn the light on. Bulbs work, it's good. Let's try the air pump. There we go. Awesome. Turn that off. So that's all working now. Happy days. So let's reattach all the interior trims and get it back looking like a car. This needs reattaching. I'll quickly attempt that. Hopefully the slots aren't damaged on the leather gator, so I think it's just been pulled through. So yeah, quickly do that. Put this all back together, and then continue looking on why the aerial hasn't been working. I have kind of started that the other day when I had a spare 10 minutes, but I'll explain in a second. So the interior is somewhat put back together. So let's move round to the aerial. So I have already replaced the electric aerial for a manual one. So if we peel back this trim, there we go. So this lead runs all the way down to the car, to the stereo. This is the original electric aerial, but I don't know if you can see it. It goes through the wiring goes through the panel. So because I didn't know where it went to, I kind of left it where it was for the time being. Alright, so that's the sunroof drain by the looks of it. That looks a bit worse for wear. I'll have a look at that in a second. So yeah, I think I'll leave that there for the time being. Moving it. It looks like, unless that's a drain for the water, in case water seeps down. Not too sure. But anyway, the new aerial has a male adapter, and the original one has a male adapter. So originally I was racking my brains on where to get a female joiner from. The only place I can get it is from China via eBay. And then I thought, well, might as well just replace the whole lot rather than faffing around with the joiner and waiting weeks for it to turn up. So I'll just disconnect this original one and I'll just run a new one all the way along. So that's what I'll now do. That's why I left the dash apart, because I kind of knew what I was going to need to be doing anyway. So yeah, I won't film this next bit because that's not very interesting, putting an aerial coax cable through. So yeah, I'll see you in a few minutes and hopefully have it all connected. So I had to remove the passenger seat because the cable joins, I don't know if you got it, it's too dark, it joins about here and then goes to a shorter coaxial aerial cable that goes to the stereo. But anyway, it comes along here, along the front of the seat, and then all the way along. Along the back where the boot and petrol cap releases, around the other side to the aerial. But in a way, I'm glad I did, because I've now found out that there is water, how much that is, in the footwells. Lovely jubbly. So then pulled the A-pillar trim off and found the drain tube for the sunroof. I pulled it out and the end was blocked. No, I can't see it on the floor anymore. But to reattach this, I'm going to have to jack the car up and take the arch liner out to redo. So I'm just going to go grab some rag or a towel or something just to try and mop up some of this water before I can actually carry on doing what I'm doing. Lovely. So the interior is pretty much put back together. Just got to put the kick plates back on. I have ran the new aerial lead to the stereo and I tested it and it's all working. Obviously I can't show you because of copyright. So yeah, I mean, it's annoying that it is wet, but I'm going to have to look at it another day. Ideally the whole interior needs to be stripped out so I can dry the carpet or even replace it. Yeah, that's just the tissue that I used to mop up what I could. The trouble is the underneath of the carpet itself has got like an insulation, and that is just soaked. So I think the water is just going to return to the footwells. But if I can find the cause of it, then hopefully that will prevent it from getting any worse. So that's the drain tube. I've got one more electrical issue I need to sort, and then I'll take the wheel off. So the other job I need to do today is to replace this fog light unit and to get it to work. So I did trace the wiring from the loom, and then you've got a plug just here. I don't know if that's the original position, but that's where it is in a minute. So I've unplugged it. So the loom goes to the fog light unit itself. I tested with a multimeter here, and I am getting 12 volts. So I know the actual loom of the actual car is fine. So it's just from that plug to the light. As I previously said in a video, the bulb works off the earth on the base of the bulb. So I don't know if it's the unit because it's been waterlogged. I'm not too sure. So got another loom. Thinking, oh, I'll just replace it both, but turns out couldn't get the bit that actually goes to the fog light, so I'll have to make it up. But what I was very lucky to find was a new old stock fog light. So let's try and open this up without dropping the light or the camera. Apologies for my cut thumb. There we have it. Much better. So inside the original one, all this is corroded. I did try to clean it up as best as I could, but I don't think it's enough. So yeah, let's take the headlights out. Let's get the bumper off and swap this fog light unit over. I've now got the old fog light off. You can see the difference in condition. A lot of corrosion this side. With the original loom, you can see again corrosion in there. Something's not right with this, so I'm going to redo it. So I just need to strip this bracket off and transfer it over to the other one, and then I can look into the wiring. So I've now swapped the bracket over. The wiring is all in. I changed the bulb as well. So that's looks a bit weird like that, but let's have a test, shall we? Right, so lights on, fog lights. Hey, it works. Fantastic. Good news. So let's put it all back together and hopefully it'll start looking like a car again. So I've had the car jacked up. I couldn't see in the arch liner where the sunroof drain tube connects to, so I'm going to have to do some more investigation. But the car is pretty much back together. So yeah, that'll conclude this video. So yeah, I've got a few bits and pieces done, but I'll relook this drain in the next one. Cheers.